Now, we can also discuss the reverse of this process, meaning that if this level of GDP is associated with inflationary conditions, meaning that we are at the production possibility frontier or very close to it, and we are trying to push beyond it, which is beyond the limits of an economy, and that causes no more production but only higher prices as wages and so forth will rise. So therefore we need to cool off the economy and perhaps slightly bring it back toward the production possibility frontier and maybe slightly below it in order to keep the economy from overheating. So that can happen again by actually cooling off the economy by somehow managing the aggregate demand by shifting it left or to the lower level. This can happen by lowering consumption spending or government or investment spending. If those two sectors are not responding, consumers continue to be interested in spending beyond their means, or investment community sees opportunities for profit and therefore they will not slow their spending, then perhaps we could increase taxes or lower government spending to achieve that kind of a reduction in aggregate demand in order to cool the economy off. Or we could reverse some of the policies, subsidies, taxes, and so forth, or cut off the inflow of migrant workers to the country. All of that will create a bottleneck and supply shock that will shift the aggregate supply to the left in order to bring it closer to more manageable, non-inflationary level of output and employment. Now, another aspect of this discussion that I have not mentioned is the role of the Federal Reserve System, and that it has to do with money supply. The money demand is something that you and I will feel like carrying a certain amount of cash in our pockets, and if we don't like it, we carry less. So that's something that has to do with our spending habits, our level of wealth, etc. That's not easily managed. But the supply of money is something that the Federal Reserve or central bank can manage. So if we look at the market for money, so this is quantity of loanable funds, and this is the price of loanable funds, then there is a demand. This is demand for money. Now the supply of money is what the Federal Reserve or central bank can control. Let's say that currently this is supply of money, and it therefore gives you this level of interest rate. If the Federal Reserve wants to stimulate the economy, they can engage in expansionary monetary policy, increasing the supply of money from SM0 to SM1. That, with present level of demand, will lower the interest rate, and as a result it can influence all the decisions either on the part of the consumers or investors that are interest sensitive. And so it will stimulate spending, it will reduce savings since people do not see much opportunity lost by putting their money in the bank. The interest rates are low, so they carry more cash to spend more, etc., etc. The investment community finds opportunities to borrow and invest without much difficulty, and therefore will push the aggregate demand out if that's the intention. And contrary to that, if the Federal Reserve finds this level of output again associated with inflationary pressure, they will engage in contractionary monetary policy, reduce the supply of money, and therefore push the interest rate high. This higher interest rate will in fact impact the interest-sensitive components of the aggregate demand, and therefore will cool the economy down. So I want you to understand the link between the monetary policy or the activities of the central bank and how it can affect the level of economic activities.